Hey guys, week 15 and it's time to fit everything I need to sail this boat. And that includes making arrangements to attach the downhaul, the hiking straps, the rudder gudgeons, foil rope handles, anti-chafe carpet on the center case and rudder box, and so on and so on. So a lot to do, let's start. And the first thing I'm going to do is precisely put some anti-chafe carpet here on the rudder box, something like this, here and on the other end. And for that I will use Fisher's MS Special Nautic. It's nearly the end, so I had to cut this open. I usually would apply it with this, but let's use this little bit. This is great stuff. This has glued the carpets on my Skiff. It's been there for 4 seasons. I've lowered and raised that daggerboard hundreds of times and the carpet's still there, so I'm going to use the same thing. It's horrible if it gets in your hands and it's a pain, so wear some gloves. I'm using, I think it's ethylic alcohol, and that seems to clean it pretty well. And that's that one done. And now the center case. Okay. And now I need to turn the boat on its side so I can do the same near the bottom. Okay, now we have quite a few holes to drill and fill with epoxy so we can re-drill them again at a smaller diameter. And these holes are 2 here on the top of the rudder and 2 on the top of the daggerboard. Those are for the rope handles, so you can lift the rudder or the daggerboard. The other one is here in the tiller extension. Sorry, on the tiller, so we can fit the tiller extension. I will use just a simple piece of rope coming to the other side with a figure of 8 knot. You can use one of them snap-ons like you've got on the lasers or the optis or whatever, but I will just use a single piece of rope there. And another 2 holes here on the gunnels, one on this side, one on that side, and that will be for the traveler. And 4 more at the front. Here I'm going to rig this my way, of course, but using the spectral loops that Michael uses and the guys use in the Philippines. They have proven very reliable and it can't be any lighter or cheaper than that. Basically just put 2 holes here, put a little bit of spectra with a figure 8 knot on one end, put it through the other hole and a figure of 8 knot on the other end. That will make a little loop here. You can attach the downhaul to, and I will make the same for the halyards. Usually the halyard stays on a cleat on the mast. I will not do that. I want the halyard going 2 cam cleats here, the same as the downhaul. And as I said before, this is not the standard way to rig the goose. I will try to mimic here everything I've done on my Goat Island skiff, because I find that for my needs that's the best way to do it. I will drill this with 8mm drill bit, and then I will reopen them with 5mm. Now the traveler is supposed to be at 42 centimeters from the transom. This is not, or I could not find it on the manual, but it's on the Aussie Goose website on the rigging page. You want this hole to be as close as possible to the plywood. Obviously don't drill this plywood. So we better see how much you've got here. Okay. So that's where my plywood is. Oh, that's nice. I will now drill a few more holes on the boat, not because you need them, but I do need them. I will have to find a way of mounting my cameras here, and I think permanent holes will be the best way to go. I haven't come up with the system yet, but nothing new here, guys. Just use good tape, good quality tape, otherwise you're gonna end up with epoxy on the floor when you fill this up, but duct tape usually is okay. Okay guys, these are the blocks I will use for the goose. Apart from the ratchet block, I will use these for everything. The traveler one, it's dead easy. You can actually put some tape here so they always stay in place, although they don't spin. And I have created that one from those blocks and that one as well. Let me show you how. I've got these little pieces of stainless, and I just need to re-drill this 0.25 more. After you have taken them apart, you have the plates which you can reuse, the same with the pulleys. You will replace the pins there with one of these screws, which will then be drilled there, exactly as it is here. And you replace the shaft, which is solid, as you can see. This is really strong. Replace it with small little tubes. Put everything together and you end up with something like this, or this. And this will be the downhaul. This will be attached to the boom and to the spectral loop on the deck. So when you pull on this one will double whatever ratio you've got in here. I've got 4 of them here. If you've got 2, it will still be ×2 with this one. So that's a very powerful downhaul. That's what I use on my Goat Island skiff. This is what I believe to be the most important component on a balanced lug sail. The downhaul. This needs to be strong. It's 8-1, like on my Goat Island skiff. A 3-1 won't be enough, guys, to be honest. I have never sailed the Goose, but on my Goat Island skiff I can tell you a 4-1 won't be enough. when you get the stronger winds. A 6-1 you might just get away with it, but I have an 8-1 and sometimes I wish I could put more, but my carbon boom won't take because it will bend just too much. You need that luff tension, otherwise your boat won't perform properly. This is not the line I will use for the downhaul. I actually need to get Dyneema, or I want to get Dyneema with outer poly. This is just some polyester, I think, rope that I got so I can wrap the yards so it doesn't scuff the mast and the boom as well. But more on that next week. And guys, these were dead cheap. These cost me less than €2 each on AliExpress. The shaft is an 8mm in the center where this spins, and where it goes through the plate is 6mm solid stainless steel, so that will not break. This here won't break. The only thing that might go wrong, I don't know, the sheave might deform, but again, that's solid. It's not hollowed or anything. It's solid, as you could see when I was building the double blocks. So for less than $2 or €2, you can't go wrong with this, to be honest. Okay guys, I've got this already bent piece of stainless sheet, and I will try to make some really simple gudgeons. A lot simpler than the ones I made for the goat. I hope this is strong enough. Well, I guess time will tell. I have finished polishing the gudgeons. Not the best parts or best looking parts in the world, but hopefully they'll do. So that's the plan. I'm not sure this will work or be strong enough, so I won't get into further detail how I made them. If you want tested and proven gudgeons that you can make at home, I have a video for the gudgeons I made for my goat and skiff. You can see it here. Oh yeah, yeah. And our special tool again for the internal countersink. And now we need to mix a very small amount of epoxy. Guys, don't get epoxy on the carpet. just try to get your tiller and your rudder box as vertical as possible, of course, and in the middle of the boat would help as well. Okay, as you can see, I've got central line there and there. I'm gonna give it some gap. I'm drilling this one at a time. Now I'll go for the bottom one. Okay, I don't like this too much, to be honest. I might actually make a bigger backing plate here. That will take a couple of screws to reinforce this. This is Polonia, it's not that strong. Should have made this with red spruce instead, this little bit. Okay, and here, when I made the gudgeons, I made sure these holes were at the same distance as these ones, because I will use this as backing plate and I will attach the hiking strap there. I've made that bigger backing plate there instead of just the washers. This piece for the hiking strap is already fitted as well. All these screws are already sealed, so no water will come in the boat through these holes. And now I will put the other end of the hiking strap by the center case. Okay, now where will I put this? Here or near the top? Now this is a matter of preference. Some people like to have the hiking strap really high so they can have their legs fully stretched when they're hiking. I don't. I like to have it here because I don't race. I'm usually more relaxed. I just want something there that if I need to lean or hike for a bit, I can easily get my foot in there. This position is not very kind on your knees if you do a lot of extended or prolonged hiking. So if you want to race and if you want to be constantly hiking, I would advise you to have the hiking strap higher so you can stretch your leg instead of having your knee like this. Okay, me, I will keep this position and put it lower. So I want this attachment to be somewhere around, sorry guys, need to move you. This needs to be somewhere over here. I've put a stop on or a marker on the drill so I know when to stop. Chris, Michael Storer, you're being relocated. There you go guys, you've been officially relocated. Okay, now let's take care of the tiller extension attachment. If you remember, we filled this hole with epoxy, drilled it at 8, filled it with epoxy, and now I'm drilling at 525. Okay, could see no wood, so that means the drill went through epoxy only. Okay, this was my first Goat Allen Skiff tiller extension. I then made that tiller extender, if you remember. If not, there's a video on my channel, I think you can check it here. And then I changed the size of the tiller extension. So I will use this for the goat, for the goose. I don't know what the right size is meant to be, but again, it's preference. So you can sail it with just this piece of rope there, and then you do a figure of 8 knot here to stop it, and you have some slack here. You can't really tighten it, because then it won't work properly here with the end of the tiller. What I did on my Goat Allen Skiff was to grab a little piece of, this is just electrical wire or cable or whatever, just get like 10 mil of the outer insulation, like so. Put this through like that, all the way there. And now you can pull this tight if you want. On the Goat Allen Skiff, I've got a small cam cleat here. I'll see if I can get away without that one on this one. Okay, that looks alright. If I'm shooting in from the boom, if it's coming from under there, it's not that good, to be honest. Well, I guess I'll have to practice while sailing. Now, looking at your names there, guys, a few more of you decided you want your name on the bulkhead, so you bought me a few more coffees. Thank you very much, guys. That money will go towards the halyards, the control lines, everything I need to rig the boats. And I will buy that next week when I go to Lisbon with Francisco. He's building a goose as well, so we're gonna buy lines for or ropes for both boats. Until then, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you next week.